Okay, let's get started then. So, welcome to the webinar, everybody. As you can see there, tonight's webinar is called Building Your Customer Base. And this is one of a series of 8 webinars that I run. You see there, starting at number 1, all about getting started. I do one a week. I try and do most Wednesdays. Occasionally I'll miss one, so it might take kind of 9 or occasionally 10 weeks to do the whole lot, the whole 8. But as I said, they're all recorded. So if, for example, tonight we're doing building your customer base, if you're particularly interested on just getting started, or say the personal development ones, you don't have to wait another kind of 4, 5, 6 weeks. You can just go and have a look at one of the previous recordings. But thank you all for joining us this evening. So, building your customer base, what's that all about then? So I'm going to talk a little bit about what is a customer base. And I'm going to ask a couple of questions while I'm at this, so pay attention. There will be a test at the end, and if you're all well behaved, you might get a certificate. And I'm going to be asking you a bit about why customers order from you anyway. Why would they order from you when there's huge supermarkets all over the place, and they can order so much stuff online these days. And I'm going to talk a bit about customer bonding, and the result of what we talk about, if you follow everything that we talk about here, is a base of loyal customers, and that is so valuable. The difference in the rewards for the effort that you put in between when you've been in the business for a few months and you've got a base of loyal customers compared to when you're first starting off, the difference is really significant, so it's definitely worth going for. So, customer base, quick question for everybody. Obviously, for those people who have maybe only started in the last few days, you won't have any customers yet, but can people just give me a bit of an idea of how many customers they have at the moment? And I know there are some people who have been in the business for a long time. Kate there, 1,200 customers, fantastic. Dave, 800. Kathy, 400. Shan, 10 to 20, good. I know Shan's been in the business doing it online for a little bit. Stanley, 48. I know Stan was saying earlier he's just been in the business a few months. Linda, 400. Guy, 400. Fantastic. So these numbers are for those of you who are not been in the business very long. Sophie, thank you for that. Yeah, Katrina, yeah, that's very true. I'll explain a little bit about what Katrina's just mentioned there as well about deleting them. So, for those of you who haven't been in the business very long, getting from when you first start off, when you might put out your 200 or 250 customers or start advertising on Facebook and have maybe 1 or 2 customers, to get to 400 or 800 or 1,000 might seem a huge task, but it's actually fairly straightforward. Let me explain a little bit about how this goes along. Now, I'm focusing mainly on the catalogue side of the business here. The online side is obviously a little bit different, but the principles that we'll learn are going to be very similar. The numbers will be a little bit different. So, when you start off, month 1, day 1, you've got 0 customers. We all start off exactly the same. You can't join Kleeneze and say, oh, well, I think I'll take a shortcut, pay a bit extra and start off with 500 existing customers. You can't do that. We all start off with 0 customers, and when you start off, you just deliver your catalogues. Again, I'm mainly talking about the catalogue side of the business. You deliver your catalogues to houses near where you live, and let's suppose you deliver 200 catalogues a week. That's a good starting point, and you might get sort of 10 to 20 orders from new customers in those first catalogues, and it will vary a lot. Some people will pick up just 1 or 2, some people will get sort of 20, 30 catalogues, but on average, about 1 in 10 is a reasonable guess. So let's suppose you get 20 orders from those customers. Now, if you're doing that each week, then at the end of the first month, so beginning of month 2, you've now got 80 customers. You've picked up 20 each week, going to new houses. And so in month 2, each week you're then delivering 200 catalogues again. And of those 200, 180 are going to houses that haven't ordered from you yet, but 20 will go to your existing customers. Now, some of those existing customers will order from you again, but also some of the ones that didn't order the first time will order from you the second time they see the catalogue, because they've got a bit more time this time, or a bit more money, or they recognise your name, or one of their neighbours has recommended you, all sorts of different reasons. So you'll probably get some more orders. Let's say you get another 10 orders from those new customers in the 180 or so other houses. And if you repeat that each week, again, the next 4 weeks, by the end of month 2, beginning of month 3, you've now got 120 customers. And you continue doing the same. Another 200 catalogues out, 30 this time are going to customers, and 170 to houses that haven't ordered from you yet. And you'll get a few more orders from those customers as well, and so on. So, month 4 you could have 160 customers. You're gradually, as you can see, each week delivering more and more of your catalogues to people who have ordered from you in the past. And also, those people who haven't ordered will order from you again. And it always surprises me, you can be delivering a catalogue to houses that you've been to 4, 5, even 6 times, and they've never ordered from you, and then all of a sudden they'll order. And who knows why? It could just be there was a slight change of catalogue, or you put your catalogues in the pack a slightly different way, and there's a product on the back that catches their attention. For whatever reason, they will order from you for the first time, and it could be months and months after you've been first delivering catalogues to them. But you can kind of see the pattern. Because you're being reliable and going back to the same houses and the same customers, you're gradually finding more and more of them. So, as you do that, you cross off people that say they don't want a catalogue. And there will be people that, all the grumpy ones that just throw the catalogue away and say, oh, I didn't want it anyway. So cross those people off. There's no point in continue to deliver catalogues to people that don't want them, because you're just wasting your time and theirs. But after you've been around each house about 6 times, not an exact science, so speak to your sponsor to see exactly what they propose, but I normally recommend go back to each house 6 times, so that will take you around about 6 months. At the end of those 6 months, what I normally do then is cross off people who haven't ordered from me. Now, there are a few exceptions. If you've got a little cul-de-sac with 2 or 3 customers in there, and one house where they've been looking at the catalogue regularly, then you might decide to continue delivering to that house. Or somebody who's maybe met you at the door once and sort of saying, oh yeah, thanks for delivering the catalogue. Yeah, sorry, I've been so busy recently, but I do want to order. Please keep delivering. Then obviously you wouldn't just cross them off. But people that haven't been looking at it, or maybe looked at it once and have never ordered, then you want to cross those off, because what you're then doing is obviously freeing up catalogues and time to expand your area into new streets. What I recommend you do while you're doing all of this, going through those kind of first few months, is try to place an order every week. Now, sometimes, especially with the the delivery charges, if you've got less than £150, then you have to make a decision about whether or not you put an order in anyway and pay a delivery charge. Now, with the new drop shipping option, it means you can still put an order in for less than £50, as long as you don't abuse it and put sort of 2 or 3 short, small orders in at once, just to avoid having to pay a delivery charge. But putting in a small order once a week so that you can get your orders back to your customers quickly is a good way of doing it. Now, obviously, within your first 30 days, there's a big advantage in trying to get your £150 order in, because you get free catalogues as well. But if you can't, and you've got, say, £60–70 worth of orders, and you don't really want to wait a fortnight before you put an order in, then put in a smaller order, drop ship it to yourself, and then you'll avoid the delivery charge. But you will get appreciative customers because you're delivering to them promptly. And so if you keep doing that, and you're placing orders every week, and your customers see how reliable you are and how prompt you are with delivering your orders, you can continue doing that for as long as you want, months and months and months. And there are people in the business who have been in for years and years and years, and they continue blanketing all of the time. They're constantly building their customer base up. As Katrina said there, you will cross people off. There will be people that will order from you, and then they don't order for months and months and months, and you think, well, you know what, whether they've moved away, or for whatever reason you can't get in touch with them, or they just stop ordering. Then you might choose, look, there's no point in me flogging a dead horse here. I'm going to cross those houses off, but I'm delivering to some new areas now, so I can find new customers from that. But let's suppose you get to the point where you have 800 customers. So that's each week you're delivering 200 catalogues to existing customers, people who've ordered from you before. One of the things that you will find is that on average, the order per catalogue that you're putting out increases all the time as you're getting more and more customers. When you first start off, the order per catalogue can be £1. You know, your first few drops can be less than £1. You know, you might only get 50p per catalogue, but you'll soon get it up to an average of £1 per catalogue. And the more and more you go into this, you're getting more orders per catalogue. And this is where it's just getting much more, what's the word I'm looking for? Much more efficient, because you're just getting obviously more for the effort that you're putting in. And this is your customer base. Once you're delivering just or mostly to people who have delivered from you in the past, it's called you're delivering to a customer base. And there are lots of advantages in doing that. Your income is a lot more stable, because you pretty much know you'll have customers who every single month will order something for £15. You'll have other customers that order every 2 or 3 months, but it's always a good £30 or £40 order. And you will have the occasional customer that puts in a £100 order, and you can kind of predict what it's like. You lose a lot fewer catalogues because you're only delivering to people who always put their catalogues back out, because obviously the people that have been throwing them away, you've crossed off your list by now. So there are lots of great reasons as to why heading towards your customer base and working towards your customer base is important. So, quick question then. When I first joined, and especially when I first started team building, people would say to me, yeah, but why would anybody buy from Kleeneze? You know, I can buy anything I want at the big supermarket and it's cheaper, and I can buy things online these days. It's, you know, so much easier. Why do people buy from catalogues? So a quick question for everybody. Before you joined Kleeneze, had you heard of the name? Yes, 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 no, yes, 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 no, yes, yes. Yeah, it used to come to our house as kids, Sophie. Yeah, yeah, no, yeah. And that's really interesting. So I would say, it looked to me just very quickly there, because there's quite a lot of answers going through. I would say probably 2/3 of people had, and a third of new starters, a third of the people hadn't heard of Kleeneze. Kleeneze has been a well-known British brand since 1923, so it's quite a well-known brand. You know, in terms of, you know, if we did any market research, a lot of people recognise the name. And so initially, when you first deliver your catalogues to people, people will buy from you. You know, even before they haven't met you, they've never seen you, they didn't see you walk down their footpath. They see the catalogue and they know the name Kleeneze. It's a known and trusted brand, and it's been around since 1923, 92 years now. So initially, they buy just because they recognise the name. And then what happens is, as you get to know your customers, and more importantly, your customers get to know and like you, and they see that you're reliable, you're polite, you're friendly, you're helpful, all those fantastic kind of customer service attributes, as they get to know and like you, a strange thing happens. Because what happens is, they stop buying from Kleeneze and they start buying from you. They start buying from Dave or Katrina or Sue or Chris or Linda. And this is a big change, because this is where the customer loyalty comes in. Because they know you and they like you, then they're ordering from you. So what can we do to reinforce this? And what I'm going to talk about is customer bonding, and this is really, really important with your customers. And there are lots of different ways that we do that. I'm just going to start off just by asking everybody a question, and some of you may have been on this webinar before, so you might know what my answer is to this. But for everyone else, can anyone think what's your favourite word? What is everyone's favourite word? Any suggestions? Yes, that's a nice word. Would you like a pay rise? Yes. Yes, yes, me, yeah. Wine from Dave, yeah. Fantastic, let's give it why. Oh, that's an interesting one, Sean. Okay. Well, in my humble opinion, your favourite word is your name. When someone says, hello, Sean, hi, Sue, hi, Dave, it's, you know, there's something, it's nice that you have a friend who knows your name. Everyone likes to hear their name called. So, what does that mean? When your customers are ordering from you, what they would mostly do is, on their order form, they'll write their name. Now, they might write Mrs. Johnson, Mr. Smith, but if they write down their first name, then use it. Make a note of your customer's name. So make a note on your round book as you're going round. You're making a note of who's ordered from you, and put in there the name of the customer, and try to use it. And what I mean by that is, when you're delivering the catalogue to them, just as you're going down the street and you're sort of keeping a note, of which houses you're delivering to and which ones to miss out. If you've got one where there's somebody's name, just make sure you read that as you're going along. And then as you go into the house, you might not see them anyway, but if they're in the garden or in the window or anything like that, just cheery wave, "Oh, hello, Mr. Johnson, how are you?" And you'd be amazed how people kind of love the fact that you've taken the trouble to remember their name. They maybe met you once 4 weeks ago when you delivered an order to them and you remembered their name, and they really like that. And you'll find that if you use it regularly, you soon get to know your customers. At the beginning, you're sort of thinking, "Oh, I know that lady, I can't remember what her name is." You look at your notes, "Oh, yes, I remember, it's Sue Johnson, yeah." So, "Hi Sue, how are you?" But then what you'll find is you start to notice people around and about in the area that you live. So you'll see them in the town. I can't go into my town centre these days without, we live in a smallish market town, but I'll see somebody and, I'm amazed now how many times you'll see, Mrs. Johnson or Sue or Graham or Peter or whoever, all the different customers, just saying hello to them. And it's funny, at first, you will often see people, and unless you've got like a Kleeneze fleece on or a t-shirt, they'll think, "Oh gosh, I know that chap, but I don't know where I know him from," because usually they just see you on their doorstep. So when they see you in a different context in the town, they'll often feel a bit, "Oh, hi." And so I always say, "Oh, it's Chris from Kleeneze." And then they go, "Oh, crikey, yeah." So, but once you've seen them a few times, you'll get to they'll recognise you out and about. The other thing that people really, really appreciate is if you go to a customer's house and you're delivering an order to them and they've got a dog, or you start chatting to them a little bit. Sometimes if I'm ringing a customer up and they'll say, "Oh, sorry, I can't take the order this evening. I've got my husband John's in hospital for a couple of nights, so could we leave it till the weekend," or whatever it might be. So I'll make an effort to make sure that when I eventually do deliver it to them, I'll ask, "How is John? He was in hospital last time I spoke. Is everything okay?" Just express a bit of concern and try to learn a little bit about your customers. And if you make an effort and repeat their name to them several times and ask how John is a couple of times, then you'll be amazed how that sort of information comes back to mind. So even a month later, you can see them and deliver a catalogue, pick up a catalogue, and you just, "Oh, how's John? He was poorly last time. Is he a bit better now?" And they just, your customers and anybody just appreciates the fact that someone's taking an interest in them and their family. The other thing I like to do is looking out for special occasions. If you see lots of cards in the window, then often it might be somebody's birthday. So I always like to try and look out for somebody's birthday, and I'll just scribble a little note down in my notebook, my round book, whatever it is, Mrs. Jones' birthday on the 3rd of March or something like that. And hopefully they're still a customer in a year's time, and you can buy them a little card or just sort of say, "Oh, it's your birthday coming up in a few days, isn't it, Joan?" And again, they're amazed that they either think you've got an amazing memory, or obviously that you've got lots of good notes about all your customers. Another thing that I like to do a lot of is try to do something just over and above just delivering the plain catalogues to them. So at Christmas, I always deliver Christmas cards to all of my customers. This is something that was kind of passed down to me from Sue, my sponsor, and obviously I see it a lot as we come up towards Christmas. Just spend a bit of time in the run up towards Christmas, just handwriting little Christmas cards. I usually just buy you can buy packs of a variety of 30 Christmas cards from the Kleeneze catalogue. It's £5 or £3 or something. So very pleasant, simple cards, just a couple of pounds, and it's a fantastic investment. Just handwrite on there, "Merry Christmas, Mr. Johnson from Chris and Sarah," and then sometimes I put in Kleeneze, and just deliver those Christmas cards with the catalogues in the month leading up to Christmas, and that gives a huge boost to your orders. So that's one thing. But I don't just do it at Christmas. So for example, at Easter, we'll often do an Easter card for our customers, and a couple of years ago now, we did these little biscuits, and my wife sort of likes baking and cooking a bit, so Sarah made these little biscuits with a little number 90 on there, and we just kind of wrapped them up and put a little card in saying, we're celebrating Kleeneze's 90th anniversary. And I was amazed at the number of people that sort of said, oh wow, I can't believe Kleeneze has been going for 90 years. And they just love to kind of have that little bit of rapport, and they get to know you and like you and trust you. And you kind of become friends with your customers. I know Sue Marshall, my sponsor, was always saying how much time she spends chatting to her customers, because they're not customers anymore, they're her friends. And one little story from that, when I was putting all these 90th anniversary biscuits out, one of my lovely old customers said, oh, that's so kind of you, how did you know it was my 90th birthday? And it turned out she was born in the same year that Kleeneze started, 1923. So that was give us something to chat about for a little while. Anyway, all of that stuff, you kind of know what I'm talking about, really. All of that stuff results in customers that know you and like you and trust you. And that just makes a huge difference to your orders. You will find customers that order from you every single month, or 7, 8, 9 months out of the year. And just because they know you and like you, they don't sort of think, oh, I'm not sure if I want that or not. They just enjoy your company, and it's just a nice little regular thing. And you will find you get lots and lots of regular orders as a result of that. Now, I've said this is the end. Let me just, I'm just going to say what we've covered. So we've talked about what is a customer base and why customers order from you initially, just because it's Kleeneze. And why would they then order from you beyond that as a result of getting to know you, like you, and trust you? And that is a really big thing. Now, one of the things that I haven't talked about, and that's really because I haven't got the kind of the length of experience, if you like, of doing that, is how does this translate into Facebook customers? Because I know there may well be some of you, I know there's certainly some in Dave and Lynn Trowell's team, who do a lot of work on Kleeneze, do a lot of selling on Facebook. So if you're building up a customer base on Facebook, then I think it's probably going to work a little bit differently, and I guess experience will tell us how best to do that. That's brilliant, Shan. I know Shan does a lot of online selling as well, so I think that's really good, because if you've got customers that you've got from Facebook, then all right, you may not be delivering a catalogue to them each month, but you will have customers ordering from you regularly, and either if you deliver to them or collect, or they come to collect from you, you will get to know your regular customers. So you can have a chat with them when you're arranging delivery and arranging collection. You can have a chat with them about, is this a good time, is that a bad time, and you'll get to know about their situations and their family and things as well. So regular customers. So I mean, that's fantastic. There's obviously some specific stuff on Facebook about bumping groups and so on, and I think that's brilliant, Shan. You've got customers in groups that will see your products and just put a little comment on saying, I bought one of these the other week, it's fantastic, which is a free bump for you in that group, which is fantastic. So anyway, so I think one of the things that I'll be doing over the next few weeks is updating this webinar to include a lot more of the Facebook side of it as well, because although I think the principles are exactly the same, there's probably some kind of details, if you like, that are going to be a little bit different. So coming towards the end now, 25 minutes that took us, so went through that reasonably quickly. As I said at the beginning, this was one of a series of 8 webinars. Next week we'll be starting to get into team building. So the last 3 weeks we've really been talking about getting started, getting your catalogues out, getting your Facebook group created and so on, going to your local meetings, the importance of all of that kind of things. For those of you who are interested, or even if you're not sure yet but you want to find out a little bit about it, about team building and supporting new team members, then the next couple of weeks will be really useful for you. So hopefully you can join us then. Right, I'm just going to turn off the recording of tonight's